What is up? Welcome to the On the Burst podcast. I'm your old coach, Brandon Savage, and I'm joined here by my assistant coach, Timmy Moody. How are you doing, Timmy?
Yeah, pretty good. Been sort of just plotting throughout the week, which has been fun. Just different ways I can get you and your cousin back. So just sort of fantasizing on those and sort of, do that. And it's been fun. So.
I got a missed call from you at a random time of the week, and I was like,
could this be it?
I was thinking that could be it. I think it was like 9:15 at night on a weeknight.
Yeah.
I think it was a butt dial or something, but then
But you know, that'd be pretty brave of me to prank you with my number on.
Yeah, that's it.
Bold. But you know, there's probably strategies around that I've already thought about, and watch out, I'm coming for you.
You're talking shit, mate. You're talking shit.
Oh, no, I've definitely, I've got some stuff for you.
Interesting. I actually... Yeah, it was my first thought that came to my head when you called me, but I thought bold move to do it by yourself. But this is the On The Burst podcast, and we're relaxing, so... Oh, fuck.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Like, there's not anything appropriate at all to wipe that down. I feel like you just have to deal with that mess for the rest of the podcast.
I've actually got to fix that.
I don't know if you could avoid it.
I've got to fix that.
That's kind of funny.
It's just on the table.
Yeah, but I feel like it's pretty sloppy, but we could go with it.
Oh.
As long as you just don't put your hands down, we could just press on. The show must go on.
You've got to continue with the show because I've got to fix this up. Okay,
yeah, well, maybe I should add some to the concoction. Savs has just made a right mess. All right, so I was going to start, just because he was gone, I was thinking I could start talking about the different ways I could get him, but he's going to edit this, and he's going to probably watch it back anyway, so there's no little cheeky to the audience while Sav's gone, but yeah, look, I've got a lot of ways I could get him, knowing him quite well, so... Yeah, I'm coming for you, Savsy. I'm coming for you. So we just bumped into a podcaster. Obviously, we're in a podcast space. Someone I'd sort of watched for a while. His name is Billy Darcy. He's a comedian. He's quite funny. Very tall compared to what he appeared off camera. Ooh.
How you been going?
Yeah, not too shabby. Did you get in trouble? Did they sort of frown at you?
No.
So you've really put a line to us celebrating, enjoying drinks here. We got away with it on the grand final for Supercoach last year, but it's kind of got that stinky wine smell. Yeah. I guess that's what happens when you drink soda. What a absolute kerfuffle. I guess you get that on the big game.
Well, I guess you get that on the big games.
What were you even at? Oh, you were just about to crack it.
No,
I
was cracking it because this show is relaxing. We're meant to sit back, relax, have a chat between mates. This is mates chatting at a pub.
It's also relaxing, but it's also got like the pressure of going hard. Like on the burst, you got to take strong carries. Well, you can't sort of mosey on with the ball in your hand. You're going to get smashed. You know what I mean? So
that's it. And pretty much in a metaphor for this podcast, we're going hard, and we're doing it in the toughest period for NRL creators. We're taking a hard carry, and we're on the burst. It's funny. Out there in the studio, we're up on a big screen, so everyone can see us. Mm-hmm. I've gone out there to get a little cloth or something, and everybody. So it's in the middle of everyone's workspace. So I was shitting myself when I went out there. I was expecting, we're in trouble.
They already know. Yeah.
They were all gathered around one computer. Yeah. And the TV with us on the monitor was behind. So, no, they were doing something else. I don't know what they were doing. I was stealth mode. Like, dun-dun.
Yeah, nice.
Dun-dun.
Dun-dun. They may never know about it.
They will.
Okay.
They will, because Cam listens
Massive
sometimes.
Fan, Cam.
Massive fan. Do you want to tell us about Cameron? So, he's a guy at this studio.
Cool guy.
You've taken a bit of a liking to.
Well, look, it's a bit of a cheat up. He's a good-looking bloke. Like, I don't, want to marry the bloke. I wouldn't even, go to second base with the guy. I mean, that's more of a Savs sort of, and Mikey.
Oh, gee.
thing. But yeah, no, he's a good fella. But I've sort of really enjoyed sort of playing up the sort of, find him sexy sort of thing. So I've sort of been stalking him on his Insta. I've got Instagram. That's a new thing for me.
You got
too.
Instagram.
Yeah.
This is
I don't see what the fuss is about. I don't.
It's been 3 or 4 years since you've been on this podcast. We've all had Instagram, and you finally got it.
Yeah, so I was stalking him on there, and he was aware of it. The funny thing was, right, he's like, oh, I see you've got an Instagram. And I'm like, yeah, I've got an Instagram. He was the first person to DM me, which I thought was ironic because he works at DM Podcasts. I got a DM. But he said to me, I thought this was a fake account, blah, 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 blah. And I said, look, I'm probably going to have to do some handstands or something by the sunset to just so the rest of the Instagram community accept me and don't think I'm an imposter. And he's like, yeah, laugh. Next day, I'm looking at his profile, I see he's got a photo handstanding, not near a sunset, but by a beautiful sunny day background at the beach. And I was like, oh, there's no way I actually thought people actually did that. And that's a cliche thing. I was just trying to think of something that would be like a cartwheel, but I thought you can't actually get a still shot of a cartwheel. So there you go. Then he goes, stop stalking me. Funnily enough, I then straight away sent him a picture of some photos I'd printed out of him from Instagram. So it's not that it sounds a bit creepy-ish, but it's not that I've sort of gone about my day to then go and print some photos out. Part of my routine for work is printing photos from like a photo booth in shopping centres to make sure they're working. So normally I print photos of Viliami Kikau, or now my new thing is Nathan Cleary since the grand final. Just making sort of like, little collages. And now I'm going to probably make a collage of Cam.
Oh, no. He's going to block you on Instagram in no time.
You got to take your losses, take your wins.
You get that in the big games, I guess. He, I'm surprised he's not creeped out by you yet because you're very full on with him.
I think I come in waves. You know what I mean? I try not to drown him. I and then sort of retreat. You know what I mean?
There we go. All right,
keep him keen.
So last week we got a brilliant feedback from the podcast. So thank you to everyone that reached out for it.
No one reached out to me. Glad they let you know. Thanks, guys.
Well, they let the Instagram on the Supercoach Experience know because that's where the interaction happens.
There you go. I've only got about 35 followers on my Instagram, so I'm struggling there. So
yeah, I think the Supercoach Experience has 100 times that at the moment. So the people that are listening, mind you, the numbers are much lower than the Supercoach season, but we're always expecting that. But the feedback has been brilliant, and I think our goal is to just continue and just make it a habit.
See where it blossoms.
See where it goes. So you guys have given us the offload, and we're going to be on the burst. Righto. So the origin story of On the Burst. So this is probably something we should have touched on last week. But the origin story of On the Burst, do you want to tell me how you remember it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know it?
No, what are you talking about? The origin story where On the Burst originally came from or something?
The On the Burst podcast name.
Oh, I thought you meant, the first person to
say On the Burst. No.
I was like, if you're going to tell me it's your old man back in North Sydney.
No.
I was like, no. Yeah, okay, go on then. So
yeah, okay. So pretty much a couple of weeks ago, I pitched this idea to Timmy, and he was all for it, and then we're thinking of names, and originally it was Life After Football for a bit. Yeah. Like, we kind of like that, but I think the thing that was holding me back from that is I'm not really into ex-players. I'm into players that are playing now.
I didn't think it was generally just ex-players. I thought that'd be a good thing we could also have as well. But yeah, Life After Football.
We are the Life After Football. Like, we're footballers.
We're on the burst now, but no one can take Life After Football. We're going to trademark that, and that might be enough.
But then On the Burst happened. So my wife came home an hour, 2 hours later after we'd originally started talking about it. And she was telling you a story. I think I'd love to hear your point of view with this story.
What was the story she was telling me? I got the
You
worst
don't
memory,
remember
though.
it?
Yeah, what is this story?
You don't remember. Okay, so pretty much
What was it regarding?
me and my wife and my
Oh,
daughter.
yeah, you and your yeah. So I can't remember it exactly verbatim, but I think the general gist was I think when she kind of maybe first was dating you or something, she met your old man.
No, we're moving. So we're moving, and I had my daughter by then. So
yeah. Oh, okay, sure.
she was there at the time, and we'd pretty much finished moving. Me and my dad found a football out the front yard. Her and her mum were sitting inside, just having tea and
cheese and biscuits and all sorts of making doilies. Yeah,
playing with the baby, and then my dad yells out, "Quick, on the burst, on the burst!" And they look outside while we're running in circles in disgust. They're like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I come inside, and my wife has this look on her like, what is on the burst? And I'm just like, it's such a niche saying in the football world that not many people would really be around, right?
Well, I don't think it's kind of niche. I think it's a bit more, it had its time. And I think on the burst was like very much like a junior footy sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
Like it'd be encouraging you to go hard and sort of like on the burst, a lot of the, it was, and a lot of the time it might be just sort of in trying to get someone else to sort of play with you. If you got a foot in your hand, you'd be like, come on the burst, and they'd sort of run onto it, do a little bit of a us, maybe a bit of a goosey, and then pass it back, and then you've got a friend to play with.
I even use that saying in OzTag when a lot of the time, like I'm trying to find numbers and find gaps, and people are just standing flat-footed. They're running with you, but they're kind of just running with the flow of play rather than following the ball and actually expecting the ball. Like, I feel like in OzTag, it's real tough knowing so much about NRL and how they do their shapes and all stuff like that, and then playing with a bunch of guys who are casual NRL fans and don't get that like lead runners and running the ball straight, squaring up, and passing the ball behind you rather than running in a diagonal direction. That doesn't create the numbers. That makes more numbers for the defending side. So, yeah, on the burst.
Yeah, thinking about OzTag just makes me tired. Like season we played last time, I don't think I could stay on the field for more than 3 minutes without sort of chucking my hand up for a sub.
You were so keen on that season.
Yeah, I was so
you were so keen leading into the season, and then you were like Tommy
Bought
Turbo.
New boots, some nice new boots.
You advertised online a lot that we were playing and what time we were playing.
Trying to get a bit of a following, yeah.
Did you score a try?
I didn't score a try.
You didn't?
Nah. There was one time I went really close and I tripped over.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It was such a big deal too. And your brother's like a bigger dude and he was just scoring tries left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
How hard is it to score a try? Yeah, I'm a terrible OzTag player.
You need to be just a little bit quick, right? Like, just a bit quicker than you were good. Like, I enjoyed you playing dummy half.
Yeah, thank you.
But
Mikey wanted to try be dummy half too, but
it was actually very painful having two of you because you are exactly the same player, you and Mikey. Mikey has just done it for a long time, so he still can't pass the ball considering he's a hooker.
Yeah, I've got fantastic service. You've seen that in my leading into Supercoach.
Yes, Supercoach. We've got some Supercoach to talk about, actually, so stay tuned. I want to bring to you this segment. I just opened a beer, or a cider, might you say, and I want to bring to you this or that situation. Yeah. So you've got to tell me whether you prefer this or that.
Sure.
And then it's like a knockout kind of system. So what type of beers do you like? A wedding beer or a Friday Arvo beer?
Oh, wedding beer.
A wedding beer or an airport beer?
Wedding beer.
Wedding beer or a Saturday 3 p.m. for the footy beer?
Wedding beer.
Oh, wedding beer or on the beach beer?
Wedding beer.
Wedding beer or Bucks party beer, the first beer?
Bucks party beer.
Bucks Party beer or hotel balcony beer?
Bucks Party beer.
Bucks Party beer or early knockoff beer?
No, Bucks Party beer. There's not going to be much that's going to beat a Bucks Party beer, I don't think.
I've got one for you.
Okay, get there.
Bucks Party beer or first beer of Magic Round weekend?
Oh. Bucks Party beer.
Oh, you love Bucks parties.
Look, I just know there's going to be a little bit of tomfoolery going on. I'm probably going to hit the dance floor at some point. There's just a plethora of options, and that's why the wedding was sort of there too. It's got I like that.
It's a good buzz. I love a good wedding, and you just know that you're letting your hair loose for the night. With I did say Magic Round beers.
Yeah.
NRL.
I love this. You've already bought your
Yeah.
accommodation.
I've booked my accommodation for Magic Round, 600 metres from the Caxton. I missed out last year. I'm not missing out next year. So I've booked it. I haven't booked the tickets. Who knows whether I actually go to any footy games? Because I feel like going to the Caxton is all I want to do.
You want to experience the games as well. It's
You reckon?
you want to take in a bit of everything, yeah. What do you ruin it? You're going to go all the way up to Magic Round, just sit at the caca.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you go there afterwards, man. Have a little bit of everything, You
Yeah.
want to try.
Go there before as well?
Yeah.
Did you go there before?
No.
So the draw is out, and obviously that was the first thing I
went to
looked
the
at.
brewery beforehand because it was quieter. Yes.
And someone
With
else.
Wilfred, yeah.
Yeah, with Wilfred. You wanted to go. Did you guys end up going to the Caxton after that?
Don't think we did, but I ended up going there. Oh no, me and Wilfred got let in by John Bernard of all people.
Yeah.
We had to sort of like usher us through and be a little bit celebrity and be like, let these two guys in because it was a bit hectic at that point. So shout out to him for that.
And I'm pretty sure you only met him like the week prior, eh?
Yeah, and I chewed his ear off that weekend.
It was good.
Funny.
It's good timing, wasn't it? But yeah, the draw came out for the NRL draw.
Raiders are missing out. I noticed that was the first thing I wanted to see.
St George.
Okay, round 10, isn't it?
11.
Oh, they've changed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
So it's round 11, and the Dragons are missing out. It's the first thing I looked at, 17th of May, which is a bit later than I expected. But nonetheless, I'm very excited. But the draw has come out. What are your initial thoughts on it?
Didn't pay attention to it.
You didn't?
Nah, look, I don't. I'll pay attention to it when I want to. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's there. I don't need to go. Ooh, you know what I mean? Whatever.
It's funny. I'm seeing a lot of backlash for like the Sharks having
Yeah.
an easy draw.
I've seen like just the rankings of teams that have like got the good ones. Bunnies have got it rough, that sort of stuff. I haven't really paid much attention.
Yeah,
to that
I've seen all the backlash for like the Sharks having an easy draw, the Broncos having a tough one, Penrith having a tough one. And I want to bring this to Supercoach because I think this is a lesson we should learn without having to pick players right now
Yeah.
and just sit back and look from a distance. The draw shouldn't matter.
I reckon that last year I overlooked into it so
Yeah.
much, and that's all I gave a crap about. I actually did an article for Daily Telegraph about the, I think it was the 11 teams with the tastiest draws or something like that. Or,
Like a KFC secret.
Yeah. And that was the type of thing that I wanted to focus on. So that's why I did that article.
Yeah.
And, I think it kind of...
I think the previous few years, we've all learned, like, a lot of us went heavy on Cowboys players last year because they had an easy draw.
Yeah.
We saw how they started. They started slow and then had a really nice middle period. But teams like the Warriors coming out of nowhere, and you honestly don't realize it till round 10 when there's such a gap within the competition and you see the Warriors are a fifth or sixth at the moment. Like how have they kept that up? And then you realize they are a hard draw, but you're still investing your salary cap on players who are playing these teams. I think you've just, for the first 10 rounds at least, you could probably get a gauge after 3 or 4 rounds how a team's going and what their direction is. But I think for at least the first 10 rounds, the draw is so irrelevant.
Because a lot of the time, the teams that you expect to be good aren't as good as what they are. And then the teams that you've kind of gone, they're going to be useless if put together 4 out of 5 wins or something like that. So, yeah, that can be one factor. I mean, I think it's still relevant to consider it if you're going to go one way or the other and you can't make your mind up. Like, maybe it is better to start with Nico over Cleary if you're going to go one way or the other or something.
That's going to be a tough decision come 2 months away when we start talking about it.
Yeah. We can change our minds a million times before that, though, leading up to
a lot of people are going to want both as well.
Yeah. I don't want to think about it too much now. I'm still on my holiday, for Supercoach.
This is the holiday, but the draw was announced, and Penrith, they've got the Broncos, the Roosters, Melbourne, and Parramatta in the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Are you a bit worried?
I saw that they've got quite a few 5-day turnarounds that were quite close together. I only saw that because someone mentioned it on Twitter.
Yep.
I'm not too worried. I'm not trying to be a staunch, whatever. It's to play whoever
I'm confident they'll be up there, but it's always starting well it's tough to not start well and come back from it. Have a look at the Roosters. The fact that the Roosters still made the finals last year after their start, I think it's proof in the pudding that you don't have to start well. But
I think we'll start well. I think we'll win more games than, and majority of those, we might have a couple of losses along the way in the early 6 rounds or something, but I reckon we'd be 4 from 6 at least.
Team announcements, the draw announcements on Instagram and TikTok, a lot of them going around at the moment. You happen to catch any?
Oh, actually, the ones you force-fed them down my throat.
Well, you weren't meant to disclose that information, but yes.
Yeah, only because, I think it's necessary to mention that, because otherwise I'll seem like I'm not paying too much of attention. I haven't really come across them. The one that I did stumble across was the one you didn't show me, which was the Melbourne Storm one, where they were showing, locals in Melbourne, what's this side? And it'd be like the Manly, and they'd be like, it's the Adelaide Eagles, or and they just had no idea, and it was kind of funny hearing them sort of make up names. So that was kind of cool, but it also was a little bit rude to the NRL that they didn't know our players. I feel like most Sydney players that know most of their. That's
funny. It's Melbourne, that they know their demographic, right?
Yeah, true.
Cool. What I did show you some earlier. What do you think your favourite was?
The Manly one was good. I like the simpleness of drawing a
logo and it going up. Yeah,
so they would have to draw. For people who haven't seen it, that Manly had to draw the other teams' logos, and that was pretty funny.
I think Manly was one of the better ones. A lot of people going nuts over the Dolphins one, which is it was whatever teams they're playing, and it was like a Pokemon screen. Couldn't sit through the whole thing, to be honest, just because it's so repetitive. I think that's why I liked the Manly one, because it had longevity. You could sit there and watch the whole thing and still be entertained, whereas the Dolphins one, it's brilliant for a 10-second, 20-second clip, but sitting there for a whole minute.
Great concept, I think.
Yeah. But one of the team's announcements, the Penrith one.
Simple.
They just uploaded a calendar, no video,
just who we're playing,
just a calendar of who you're playing, and I think this is testament to not getting cute.
No nonsense.
You don't need to get cute. They're the reigning 3-time premiers, and soon to be 4-time premiers. Still early, but I think that's just alpha as fuck. Where all these teams are trying their heart out, and the best engagement goes to the ones.
It's actually a pretty good calendar. At first, I was like, how's this working? Because I was looking at it on your phone from a distance, but then when you have a good look at it, it's just hold on, that's smooth as, and it's very clean, and it's nice.
Yeah, I like it. And you can save it and just use it.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to use the NRL app, you can use the NRL app too.
How long's this been a thing? Is this a year or two that NRL teams are really pushing fun content?
It's been growing for a long time, but I think only in the last year a lot of NRL teams are catching on that this is important.
People like it.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of the time they uploaded very professional type artworks, they never kind of step out of their square. I think in the last year, since I couldn't even tell you when it happened, but just a lot of road content like this gets the fans going.
Yeah.
I think it just makes them real. Don't you reckon?
Yeah.
Like
Some of them are hard to get. Like there was the one that Parramatta did last year that was the Barbie thing. I didn't get the reference. I didn't know what it was all about.
Barbie was a big movie at the time, I guess.
Yeah, but I did. Some people seemed to get it, others didn't get it. And I think it was just
Was that a draw announcement?
No, it was just midway through the year. It was just a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get up to much on the weekend?
No, bugger all.
Nothing?
No. I had a big weekend the weekend before, and I just sort of chilled out this weekend.
Are you a homebody?
Yeah, a little bit.
Homebody?
Yeah, I like to.
You came out on Friday, though.
Yeah, I had a little beer with you briefly. Spent a bit of time with your little one, Addison, there, and yeah, nice spot over there.
How was that?
I haven't been there. It was a place called, what was it? Is it
Brooks in Jordan Springs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. It was like, very posh and somewhere it looked like it'd be in the northern beaches. It had like a 2-story sort of no
Penthouse
ceiling.
little thing, yeah.
Yeah, high roof, and everything was really fancy and nice.
It was good, and it's in the Penrith area, so I thought I'd do my top 5 Penrith restaurants, or like not restaurants, but outing places in Penrith.
Yep.
Number 5 is Duck Duck Goose, which is quite new, 2 years old. I would have loved this place if I was 18 years old. Like, this is what I was begging for when I was 18 years old. Number 4 is something I love as a 30-year-old, Alan Grummer, which is a nice little sidebar. They do the best little pork sandwiches, and they're like little circles, and it's a sandwich, and they do really good cocktails.
Sliders, I think they're called, are they?
Sliders. No, it was a pork sandwich because it's on white bread.
Okay.
It sounds weird, but trust me, it's the best thing on the menu. Number 3 is the Log Cabin. It just sits on the river. It's a nice view. It's a laundry hotel, so you know it's got a bit about it. There's a nice big playground, and I think it's very versatile. So you can drink there, you can relax there, you can take the kids there. I love it. Number 2 is the Orchard. That's very new. That's on the river.
This one, yeah.
They do lots of like breakfast stuff. They got a playground, and it looks like, I haven't drank there yet. It looks like a great venue for drinking. Number 1 is Percy Plunkett.
I think I'm going to say Panthers Maccas.
Panthers Maccas. Number 1 is Percy Plunkett because it's not the aesthetics, it's not the food, it's the vibe.
I went there and didn't get that.
It's the vibe. It's the vibe. This is 100% number 1, and this is the place where I see all the Panthers players. So you better come along one weekend if you want your grand final ticket signed.
Yeah, I want to get Nathan Cleary to sign my. Nathan, I'm sure you're probably watching. If you could just sign my NRL ticket, I'm going to carry it around with me most places I go until I get it signed. Thank you.
It's funny. What's funny? I actually forgot where I was at.
Well,
Nathan Cleary. Shout out to Nathan Cleary. It's his birthday today.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. So, I just thought I'd touch on that. Because
sorry we didn't get you nothing, by the way, too.
No, we got him something.
Oh,
if he wants it, reach out.
Okay, cool.
You like that?
Yeah, it's nice.
All right, so you got some blind rankings for me. I know that was random, by the way, doing a Penrith rankings restaurant, but maybe that's a series we can do, like best places in
Bondi,
Sydney,
yeah,
Bondi, Cronulla.
All right, cool. I've got some blind rankings for you.
Blind rankings, 1 to 5.
Yeah, 1 to 5. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Now this is like on the burst. You want a good ball. You want to receive it on the chest. So I'm throwing you a bit of a curveball here.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Ben Stiller.
Ooh, I love this. 3.
Gonna record that number. Yeah. Adam Sandler.
2.
Jim Carrey.
1.
Robin Williams.
5.
Will Ferrell. Only got one number
Obviously
left.
4, but I probably was put Will Ferrell at 2 and then push the rest back. But otherwise, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, okay. I'm actually surprised you went that way. I thought, okay, so I love Jim Carrey. He's my favourite too.
He's my number one.
I was
for
thinking
sure.
about this all day, and I was going back and forth. Because he's so intense, he's got so much. Like that was like watching him as a kid. He was like a human cartoon character. Like he was just so expressive and hilarious, and had no.
By far my favourite, and
no limits sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think
favorite Jim Carrey movie.
The Mask.
Oh, really?
I love The Mask, but I love him also in The Truman Show.
Right.
I love Bruce Almighty.
Yeah, those would probably be towards the bottom end of my favourite, like, hands down, is Ace Ventura. Like, I think he's...
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen Ace Ventura? No. Go watch Pet Detective. And
although, a lot of people used to call me...
When Nature Calls, I think the other one is.
A lot of people used to call me Ace Ventura because I had my hair like...
Yeah, you've got to watch both of them. They're so good, bro. But do you know what the sucky thing is? You're going to now watch them as a 30-year-old, not as when you could have watched it back then. So
I still rate him now. Like... I think I saw a video where he was doing an interview and it was crazy. Like he was talking absolute nonsense, and a lot of people in the comments saying, "Oh, he's going crazy. Like he's gonna get knocked off soon or whatever."
Knocked off, like
like the Illuminati's gonna get him or something.
Yeah, and they're saying too much. Yeah, I see.
And I sat there and thought, hang on a minute, like we got to appreciate this legend now. Like, because he is by far one of the most entertaining actors there are. I put Robin Williams at number 5. I wasn't a massive Robin Williams guy.
Yeah,
I appreciate his kind nature though.
Yeah. There's some movies of him that, like, for me, Jack was a big movie.
I loved Jack. That was my favorite movie.
But then some of these other movies were like, I felt more. I don't know. The other ones just goofed me out. Like, even Adam Sandler, like Billy Madison, and like I love that movie. Happy Gilmore, that they're off their head. So they're my top two as well.
Yep. I put Sandler at 2, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'd probably have Will Ferrell at 3, and then.
Yeah. No, you're probably right.
I would actually have Robin Williams above Ben Stiller for sure. Ben Stiller's got some good movies.
Yeah.
But as an individual, I think he's pretty one note. He's got, like, he only sort of offers...
Yeah, you're right.
It's one kind of sort of awkward character, which is kind of good, and he nails it.
Yeah.
But I reckon...
Yeah, you are.
Robin Williams is, like, just the plethora of movies he's got.
Yeah.
Outshines and...
Honestly, with Robin Williams, I don't remember many movies besides Jack.
Yeah,
of his.
There's Mrs. Doubtfire.
I hated that.
Yeah, that wasn't for me as much either.
Eddie Murphy, if he was put in that list, where would you put him? So you'd put Jim Carrey 1, Adam Sandler 2.
Because I feel like if I was a little bit older, I'd appreciate him a little bit more. I feel like his movies that really were bigger were like I wasn't watching them as I was sort of growing up even.
Yeah.
But he's ridiculously talented. I'd probably chuck him. He's probably better than Will Ferrell if you really wanted to judge it. But I like Will Ferrell. I think he's goofy.
But because he's black, you'll put him after him. No, I'm kidding.
Not at all, bro.
I'm kidding. I love Eddie Murphy.
With my all white list here too. But yeah, that we'll have other lists that'll
be more diverse.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I think Eddie Murphy, if he was in that list,
he's a real comedian too, though. So a lot of these guys are kind of comedians as well. But I think the reason I try to pick these guys is although like Adam Sandler, all of them pretty much started as comedians.
Yeah.
But they're more known for their movies, or that was their bigger.
Yeah.
Or that seems like where their passion lied. Where some of the other actors I thought of seem like they would put, like even like a Ricky Gervais or that guy.
Yeah.
whatever. Move on.
Yeah. With these comedians and actors and stuff, do you base them off how many movies you've loved, or like if you loved one movie so much?
I think quality over quantity is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Adam Sandler recently.
Oh, yeah, some of them have faded out a bit. Like, I think, Adam Sandler's movies are a bit whack the older he gets. I think they might be suitable for a younger crowd, so they might be still hitting.
It's funny, I still don't mind them.
Yeah, I don't mind them, but they just weren't so as, like, Billy Madison for me was so, like, ridiculous.
I loved Happy Gilmore's one of my favourite movies. What's your favourite movie of all time?
I used to probably say it was Pulp Fiction, but I'd have to sit down and think about that now, I think.
It's a very tough one. Like, the last Harry Potter for me. Yeah. I love that. You've never seen it, have you?
I haven't seen it, and it's just kind of like, it's not really like a top movie for me. Like, I can't judge because I haven't seen it.
No, I sit there and I'm like, I'm so amazed every time. Step Brothers is good. Do you think without Step Brothers, Will Ferrell would be regarded as high as he is?
Yeah, he's got heaps of great stuff.
Like Anchorman is elite.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely above Ben. He's definitely above Ben Stiller. And I said that, I guess, but yeah, Adam Sandler number 2. Nice. So I've got one last subject before we finish off, and I said we're gonna do this every 2 weeks, or like every other week.
Comparisons.
It's the therapy session, and there's nothing I want to bring to the table, but I want to talk to you about something. And I want to touch on last season's off season for you.
Yeah.
So it was following the year after you won. We can cut this out.
No, we can leave it in.
We can cut this out.
I'm fine with it. Yeah. It's fine with it.
We can cut this out if you want. It was after you won Supercoach. You dip your toes in every single podcast, and you were working yourself relentless that year. And then in the off season, it just all kind of came away from underneath you. Do you feel like it was like you winning Supercoach and you putting yourself out there that was going to be the next point in life? Like it was going to take you into a direction where you wouldn't have to work 9 to 5.
No, I didn't think. I would love for Supercoach to get bigger, and so it would be easy for me to be able to do that. Where there was more, paid opportunities, I guess, without sort of having to really slog the ads and stuff. But I think it was like, everything that goes up must come down. So I was just on a massive high for a whole year after winning that, sort of having the attention in this little niche little community where, I enjoyed, this game, and then to sort of, I guess to have won it and be acknowledged as the best was really cool for that year. And then I guess it felt like towards the back end, it was just like, someone's coming to take my crown. And it really felt like that. Like it really? Yeah. And that sucked. So, I don't know. I guess coming yesterday's news, I guess that was a little bit crappy. And that sort of affected me as well. But
what was yesterday's news?
But you know what I mean? Like.
Oh, your yesterday's news.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're a has-been.
Yeah, sort of, get washed up. Yeah.
Washed up.
That's it. Yeah, so, I think it was that, and then, like, I kind of wanted to sort of branch off and do something sort of more into entertainment. Yeah. I knew it wasn't acting. I thought I was trying, I think it was comedies, it was that, and I couldn't work it out, and that did my head in.
Yeah.
But, as I said, I'm a real perfectionist in the way that I'm sort of reluctant to sort of jump in and get my feet wet because I want it to be perfect. I don't want to put out anything. So even just sitting here, we're just having a chat, but it still made me nervous, sort of thinking, we jump into, doing a podcast. But I was kind of pretty down for a bit. I don't know what sort of pulled me out of that. I think this just Supercoach starting back up. I said I didn't want to do it, and then it was it was about to come back up, and I'm like, here we go, we're back on, let's go.
Yeah, it's it's with Supercoach. It's very, because it's so seasonal. Like people are so all in at once, and then they're so all out in the off season. Like right now,
It sorts my weekend out. That's why I love
Yeah.
Supercoach. I've got the footy on. I'm invested. You know, I'm thinking. I'm active and I'm contributing to it. I'm not just sort of sitting back watching a movie. Like I'm
Yeah.
actually in it. So that makes me feel like I'm doing something, and I'm competing, and I'm engaging with other people that are sort of enjoying the same thing. And then there's obviously the podcasts and the different thoughts throughout the week about strategy and what we're going to do. And then when that disappears, it kind of just leaves me particularly a bit vacant for a bit. But yeah, I've been able to deal with that a lot better this year. I think that's because I've had that experience from last year.
you knew how to deal with
I
it
knew
this
it was
time.
kind of coming to.
Do you think dipping your toes in every single podcast and like doing everything you could, like you were doing Champions every week, you're doing our podcast every week, you're going the Daily Telegraph every Thursday night.
Winnie won the one with Jacob as well.
Yeah, you did. You had a podcast with Jacob. So that's four podcasts in a week. Like I remember people saying, Timmy's on every podcast. Like I don't need to listen to him on this one. Like he's on every podcast. Do you think suddenly just not doing that kind of made you feel really important, and then all of a sudden after that, just not important? Because it was like,
it wasn't so much the podcasts or having
No.
that go away. Like as long as I could still get my fix of, you know, just doing ours and I was doing the Daily Telegraph last year.
Yeah.
You know, occasionally and also Wilf's. Like I took a step back, if anything, and said to Wilf, I can't do Supercoach Champions as much. I burnt out. So it wasn't necessarily that part of it. It was it's more not having it when it's like when there is no Supercoach in the off season. That bugs me out, and that particular time coming off that year of doing it, I guess that was just the end of a high. You know what I mean? Like that was the end of the party.
Yeah. And it was so enjoyable watching footy every weekend. And I think last year I was not in a similar position to you, but I felt so lost. This season, like I saw what you went through, and myself, like on the weekends at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock Saturday is my favourite footy time. I'd feel so lost. Just what do I do? The footy's not on. I think just stepping back and have a bigger perspective of things, and like, just realizing footy's not everything.
Yeah, I know. Of course, I think for me it's just about trying to replace that hobby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I'm trying to do that in little ways. Like I went to the gym once last week. We did bring that up. Yeah.
Oh, did you go on the Friday night?
Yeah.
Oh, you went.
Yeah, after a beer or two.
So you had a beer or two and a coffee, and then you went to the gym.
Yeah.
What'd you train?
Arms. I was actually driving here, and I was like, oh, little muscle there, little fella. What's going on there, buddy?
What's your goal at the gym? Get bigger?
Just to go a bit. You know what I mean? See what happens.
You definitely you're going a lot at one point. I remember you come in once and I'm like, fuck, Timmy's looking fit.
Yeah. Then took it a little easier for a while and fell off the bandwagon of the gym. But yeah, we'll get back into it.
That's all right. All right. I think that'll do us for this week. Cheers for I wanted to say cheers for coming on, but you're always on, so...
No need to thank me, mate.
Cheers for being here and being of service to community, because it is a good service for the community.
I hope everyone enjoys the plants that are here too, by the way.
Yeah.
A bit of a new addition.
It's funny. There was another
Thanks for
podcast.
noticing.
There's another podcast that was in here that had the plants, and I sent a photo to Timmy saying, "Oh, the plants is a good addition," and he goes, "Oh, it's a bit gay."
Yeah, that's fine though. It was a joke though.
No, it was
a joke.
No.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm so paranoid about getting cancelled, but it's fine. I got to relax.
How
a bit
can
more.
you get cancelled when?
I'm just so worried that like I'm just going to be like someone's going to be like, "Him, here's the one we're after."
It's all right. I can cut that out for you.
That's fine. Whatever. I got to be less stressed about these sorts of things. All right.
All right. Cheers. Thank you for watching.